And of the real life examples that I know of people who have lost the weight, like people that I personally know who have lost weight and kept it off, they change entirely, like not just in a physical appearance. So that kind of has to be like the ultimate mindset, like not just changing in the short term, but it kind of just has to be like, okay, this is just the way that it's going to be from now on. And that might be a difference. Because I know that I can lose weight. I've lost significant amount of weight several times in my life. The problem is I always gain it back. And to be honest, I have this thing with like a self-destructive tendency that probably needs to be addressed.
So, spoiler alert, she is not going to be going on any weight loss medication. This girl a mess, y'all. Hi guys, welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome back if you've been around here a while. I'm Kendra, this is 𝐒𝐿 𝐁𝐞 Creates. This is my space where I share my life with you guys, and I also talk about other random stuff on the internet, and I'd like to talk about some things that I saw on the internet. If that stuff sounds good to you, then make sure you are subscribed to my channel. And also go ahead and give this video a thumbs up while you are at it. Okay, so I wanted to talk about this because if you don't know, I have taken weight loss medications. I'm actually currently taking a weight loss medication for maintenance because I'm actually kind of recently done with my weight loss journey. So if you haven't checked out my last weight loss video, then go ahead and do that while you're at it. I talk about ending my weight loss journey and beginning my plastic surgery journey. Anyways, so like I used to watch Beatrice. Like I used to watch her channel. I loved her personality. She was kind of like a little quirky, a little goofy, a little jokey joke, hee hee ha ha kiki, whatever. She's entertaining, and she's built a large following off of her ability to entertain. But not only that, because she started documenting her weight loss journey or whatever, right? So, and even in this video, she said that she had been on a journey for like 4 years, right? And within this whole time that she has been on YouTube documenting her weight loss journey, she has not lost any weight, which is sad, right? And that was really the reason like why I stopped watching her. I want to connect with YouTubers who were on that journey because, you know, I was on that journey too. And it's kind of like camaraderie, like support, like, oh my gosh, if they can do it, I can do it too. But once you like see them and they are failing miserably, you kind of like don't want to watch him anymore, although she still has an audience there, and a lot of failed weight loss YouTubers, you know, they still have an audience there to whatever, whether it's to actually still support them, still support their weight loss efforts, whether it's to like hate watch them, ridicule them, whatever the case may be, they still have some type of audience there, which is good for them. It's good that they have, you know, an audience and they have a way to viably make income from YouTube, even though they're not like achieving their weight loss goals. And she kind of talks about this in her video. She says, not losing weight doesn't keep people around. It makes people lose faith in you. And she just talks about like basically like losing weight online, and it's something that's hotly, you know, debated and talked about, and it can be crazy at times, like if you build like a really large following from that, which I have not. So a lot of the things that people, I guess, kind of went through when they were on their journeys, like I didn't go through because I don't have an audience for that. that's neither here nor there. But basically she touched on that. And I can only imagine, you know, getting all that ridicule and shame and all of that. But to get into the video, I want to talk about this whole her with the Ozempic, blah, 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 blah. Just from someone's perspective that has taken a weight loss medication. And in fact, I've taken literally all 3 of them that are FDA approved in the United States for weight loss, the GLP-1s. So we're going to get into that. So the first thing that I really liked that she did was, you could tell that she did her homework. Like, she really researched the medications and, you know, what they are. Because a lot of people say Ozempic, and that's the only name that they know. And they say it's a diabetes drug, and people are stealing diabetics medication. I wish we could move away from that talking point, because there are 3 FDA approved GLP-1 medications for weight loss. They are Saxenda, Wegovy, and Zepbound. And I have taken all 3 of them throughout the course of like going on 2 years now. I think it's been like 2 years. It's been a long time, y'all. Like 1.5 years. And I really like the way that she laid out the facts about, you know, the drug or whatever. And she talks about the appeal of it, because people, of course, they have their success stories. I would definitely consider myself to be a success story. But then she talked about like 2 major problems, like before she began doing like investigative in-depth research. One of them was the fact of like the muscle wasting and this and that and that and this. But it's true, yes. When you take these drugs, yes, you have the possibility of muscle loss, but that is with any weight loss, especially with extreme weight loss. You can combat that, of course, by weight lifting and eating protein, and that is with any form of weight loss. So it's really like a non-issue. It really is. And then there was the other thing with gaining the weight back. And as we know, this is a large fat acceptance talking point. They talk about like diets are like a 95% failure, because people lose weight and they gain it back. So this can be with any form of dieting that we see, any form of weight loss medication, drug intervention, whether it's diet and exercise, whether it's weight loss surgery, whether it's weight loss medication, whether it's some specified diet regimen like keto or whatever. It will happen. Not necessarily saying it's going to happen, but it happens, and it happens to people, and it happens a lot, because we know that it is difficult to lose weight and to keep it off. We know that. And so my question is, or issue or topic of discussion is, are you going to let the possibility of gaining the weight back stop you from even trying? And this is in no way trying to encourage her or anyone else to take a GLP-1 medication, but it's just a question to pose, right? Because if that's the case, then you are just basically kind of like giving up, and you're letting like these fat acceptance talking points win, and we can't have that now, can we? But I am glad though that she did her homework and she talked about the drug, and she made the distinction between Ozempic and Wegovy, which is like FDA approved for weight loss specifically. So I really like that. And then she talked about her medical issues that she suffers from. And she talked about BED. And I'm proud of girl. She has been binge free, she said, over a year. Like, that's a big accomplishment, because even though I've been on, you know, weight loss medications, I feel like forever now, there have been several times where I have overeaten. And of course, it's not going to be like a binge or a large amount of food to whereas someone who's not on a medication, because the hormone GLP-1 is working overtime in my body. And when I eat, I just get full, you know? It's really amazing that she's gone over a year and a half without a binge. And then she also talks about her anxiety and depression that she suffers from, which I can relate to because I've been depressed ever since I was a child. And it took me many years to get to a point in my life where I, yes, still had depression, but I was able to identify my triggers. I was able to cope with them. I was able to continuously see a mental health professional for those issues. And when it got too bad, I could say like, hey, I'm about to spiral. I need to like get on medication right now because I am about to spiral. And it took me forever to do that. But I talked about this in a previous video that I made, but I also feel like me being on a regimented schedule, me like something as simple as eating my veggies and drinking my water and exercising have also, I feel like, helped out the mental health issues that I suffer from. Just being physically active, physically fit, and also more nutritionally sound and balanced and being more healthy overall. And I feel like people can benefit from that in more ways than you think. And then she also talked about her PCOS. She suffers from that as well. And I don't think that people know, but a lot of doctors now are saying that the ladies with PCOS are finding so much relief with the GLP-1 meds. These ladies are losing weight. They are, eliminating a lot of their symptoms. They are getting their periods back. A lot of women are conceiving, and she talked about that in the video, the 𝐒𝐿𝐫𝐞𝐬𝐬 babies. And they are finding a lot of relief with that because of the GLP-1 meds. And I've never been diagnosed with it. I couldn't tell you about how it is to live with that, but I've saw some ladies, online talk about their symptoms, like the facial hair and just the not having a cycle and having a tough cycle and things like that they suffer from. And I couldn't imagine, but I can say this: if I knew that my hormones were messing up and a possible, medication could help me out with that, which just so happens to be a hormone, I might want to investigate that, but I'm also a proponent of modern medicine. Maybe a little bit too much, I don't know. But I feel like we have been given this grand gift that we did not have, 10, 20, 50 years ago. That's why I can't even imagine like women who don't want to like go to the hospital and give birth. It's just wildness to me. Especially thinking about like I had like an unproblematic pregnancy and birth, and I was like, put me in that hospital because I want me and my baby to make it alive. Another story for another day, but irregardless. So she talks about these problems, and I don't think a lot of people realize that your weight exacerbates a lot of the problems that you do have. And it's kind of like you're stuck in this cycle. And I'm not saying this is specifically, related to her, but I'm just talking about like my own experience and other people's experiences too. You're stuck in this cycle, and it's like you can't get out of this loop, and it just plays on repeat. And I feel like those issues are probably a lot of the reason why she has been unsuccessful so far in these years on the internet trying to lose weight. And then the rest of Beatrice's video was pretty much like a big warning label for all of the possible side effects or warnings that the drugs do carry. And like I said, she did her homework, which I can surely appreciate. And I tell you this because I noticed like I'm in a lot of support groups for the various drugs, and a lot of people don't do their homework. Like they do not read the leaflet inside the medication box. And it just, I give it a hard eye roll. Every time they're asking like the most basic question, and I'm like, oh, you should have read the leaflet inside the medication. Or you could just go on the manufacturer's website and all of the information is right there for you. It's public. And so that's why I don't really understand like why people freak out so much about things. And it's like, it's not a secret. These are possible side effects. All medications have possible side effects. And she goes in detail to talk about those side effects. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about was the fact that she said that most of them are not mild, but most of them are mild though. And after the patient, person, whoever, gets accustomed to the drug, they usually go away. And this is within the literature also, like I'm not gonna pull it up, but it's within the literature also where it gives you the percentage of people that have certain side effects from the study. It gives the percentage of, you know, those side effects that they encountered. But most people, eventually those side effects do die down. And then a lot of times it's you getting used to the medication in your body. And sometimes it takes a while. You will start out on a low dose and you may go up to a higher dose depending on how the lower doses are tolerated. There are also 3 different medications that you can take. So if one medication does not work for you, then you can move to a different medication. And if that one doesn't work, you can try another one. Like it's all process of elimination, trial and error. And I've tried all 3 of them. And my issue was I'm not a non-responder, thankfully, but it took a while for things to, let's just say, work for me. When I was on Saxenda, I remember my very, very first week on Saxenda. I was like, this medication is not going to work for me. I'm going to be one of the unlucky people that this medication just does not work for. My first week on that Saxenda, I felt nothing. Whereas some people cannot even tolerate the lowest dose, or some people feel the effects immediately. And I think this is where the confusion lies, because everyone's experience is just so varied. And so you will not know what your experience is or is going to be until you actually take the medication. You really can't say, because I've not really experienced nausea. Like the only time I felt like queasy nausea, feeling sickness, is when I've overeaten. And I've talked about that and I've shared that. I've thrown up one time, and I believe it was because I had a smoothie and I took my medicine after I ate, whereas I usually take it on an empty stomach. So it was kind of like a combination of all that, and it was just weird. So I like to take my medication on an empty stomach, whereas some people like to eat stuff, you know, while they take it. I take my medication in the morning, whereas some people find greater success in taking it at night. There are when I say so many variables that go into this medication and everything, so many variables. Like, what are you eating? Are you eating a high-fat diet? Are you eating a lot of sweet stuff? Because that is not recommended on this medication. Are you overeating? A lot of times people do not know their limits with food because they are so used to overeating. When you overeat, I mean, I'm talking about one bite, you will feel it and you will feel miserable. Some people throw up because of that. That hasn't been me. I've just felt like death warming over. It just literally, you feel like a brick is like in your stomach and it's just like, ugh. It's like going to a buffet and like eating the entire buffet and then being like, ugh, just heavy, lethargic, like horrible feeling. But you don't know what your symptoms, what your side effects, how you're going to actually feel until you do take the medication. And so ultimately, she made the decision that this was not for her, which I 100% and totally respect. And I feel like her circumstances are not necessarily so dire that this is kind of like a last resort and she needs to do this to kind of like save her life or whatever. Because she talks about the fact, you know, that like obesity sucks. She said that like obesity is like not good because eventually you could have worse things come down the line. Like we see our other girls have issues. Like if you think about like Foodie Beauty, she has diabetes. If you think about like Amber Lynn, she has had like cellulitis before. If you think about like who else? Hungry Fat Chick, she has all kinds of problems. Like she has to like get around with like a rollator to like walk and stuff. Like when I was heavy, like at my heaviest, like I had sleep apnea, I had like severe back pain, I had my feet swelling up, I had high blood pressure, you know? And so she's not there, which I can totally respect. And she made the statement, whereas I know I can lose weight. Like I've lost weight in the past. Like I've lost a large amount of weight in the past. And that old keeping it off demon is just fighting us. It fights us, you know? And I sometimes think about like, if I'm ever going to have to fight that demon, because right now I'm at a job that I like, but who knows, I might change jobs, which means an insurance changes and my next insurance may not cover this medication. Who knows what will happen in the future? I'm not banking on that. I don't think that I'm gonna like stop taking the medication anytime soon, but you know, we never know what may or may not happen. I know that I will have to go off of it when I do have my surgery. I will have to go off of it. I'll have to go off of it like 3 weeks before surgery time. And then I believe once I'm like all healed up and ready, then I can resume. But I'll talk about all of that if you guys, you know, are interested to check that out and whatnot. But I do wish her well. She has been on the internet for years trying to lose weight. And I really hope that she does. And I want any person that I talk about on my channel, I want them to find success with weight loss, with health goals, with fitness goals, with whatever they're doing, because life is precious. It really is. And health is precious. You owe yourself your health. I know 𝐒𝐿𝐵𝐸𝐿𝐿 says you don't owe anybody else. Well, you owe it to yourself. And especially if you or someone you know or whomever, if you have kids, like you owe your children health. You really do. Like I will stand on that because I cannot imagine being as big as I once was and trying to be active with my child and do the things that he wants to do and having the energy and everything. It would be very challenging and my life would look a lot different than it does now. So I want to say to you guys, health is wealth. If you have weight loss and fitness goals, make sure you continue on the road to achieving those. I wish her much success and anyone else that I talk about on my channel. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Catch me on the next one. I appreciate you so much for watching. Make sure you continue to spread kindness and a word of light. Bye-bye.